How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Kuf Chaf Aleph, Daf 121 of Masechta BavaBasra. Friends, we're going to start on Daf Kuf Chaf Aleph Amud Aleph, about halfway through the Amud. It says Tnan Hasam. We learn over there at the end of Masechta Tainis. Amr Reb Shimon ben Gamliel says, Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, Lo hayu yom tevim li Yisrael kechamisha asur be'av v'chi yom HaKippurim. There were not such awesome days for Israel like the 15th day of the month of Av and Yom Kippur, which we just had recently. For me, what's today? Today is Tuesday. Yom Kippur was a few days ago on Shabbos. I almost learned this Gemara on Yom Kippur. Sheboin Benos Yerushalayim Yetzes Bichlei Loven Shulin Shalolevayis Shmi She'ein Lo. That on the 15th day of Av, the girls of Jerusalem would go out in borrowed white clothing, and they would borrow it so as not to embarrass somebody who doesn't have. So everybody would borrow. Okay, so I understand why Yom Kippur is like Mamash Gevalt, right? Yom Slichu Mechila. That's when we get repentance, right? Baruch Hashem. We all have repentance now. And it's the day that the Luchas Shnias, we received the Luchas Shnias. What's the deal with the 15th day of Av? What's so special? Just because the girls would go out and do a little dance? That's what makes it like on the level of Yom Kippur. So, or maybe it's fakert. Kilu, maybe that's just a sim. That's kind of meaning because Tu B'Av is mamish the most gevaldig of the gevalts. It's in recognition of that we make it into this big yontif, and the girls go out and do a little dance. But anyways, either way, the question begs questioning. What is so incredibly awesome about Tu B'Av that it puts it on the level of Yom Kippur? Amar Vira Amar Shmuel Yom Shehutru Shvatim Lovei Zebazeh. It is the day that, right, we had said that by the Bnos Tzlafchad, we learned the halacha by the Bnos Tzlafchad that a daughter who stands to inherit her parents should marry within her tribe, but we said that was specifically for that generation, and it was on Tu B'Av that they said from now on anybody can marry anybody. So my darush, what's the drasha? Zeh adavar. This is the thing. Davar zeh lo yenoig ela bedor zeh. This thing is specifically for this generation. Rabba bar Chana, Rabbi Yechanan. So Rabba bar Chana in the name of Rabbi Yechanan. Yom shehuter shevet ben Yom lovei bakol. It's the day that the tribe of Benjamin was permitted to marry into the rest of the nation, because after the terrible events of Pilegesh Begiva, so the rest of the Yidden said, we don't want anything to do with Benjamin. Right? The Pasuk says, "V'ish Yisrael nishba b'mitzvah lemor," that the Yidden swore, saying, "Ish mimenu lo yitem bito levinyamin leisha." Nobody is going to agree to marry into the tribe of Benjamin after what they've done. My darush mimenu v'lo mibanenu. So the drasha is that they said, nobody of this generation, mimenu, from everybody swear that they are not going to allow their family to marry into Benjamin, but that's for them, not for their children, not for their next generations. Right? They were allowed to marry into Benjamin. Azoy. Rav Dimi bar Yosef Omar. Rav Nachman says, Rav Dimi bar Yosef name Rav Nachman. Yom shekalu bo meisei midbar. It was the day that the Meisei Midbar, right? Of course, after the, I believe it was after the Meraglim, right? I think it was after the Meraglim that they said that, one second. Where was it? I think it was after the Meraglim that they said, that's it, you're all going to die in the desert. And where was this? Where is this? Is this Rashi? Yeah. Rashbam. Okay, so Rashbam talks about how basically what happened is every year on Tu B'Av, they would dig their own graves, and they would lie down in the grave, and then the next day, whoever was still alive would live another year, and whoever died. And that's how it would go every year. And it was on Tu B'Av, and then on the last year, everybody dug their own graves, and they went in, and nobody died. So they said, maybe we made a mistake what day it was, right? Because, wait, what did I say? No, every year on Tisha B'Av, they would do this. And then that last year, they said, wait, maybe we messed up the day. So they went on the next day, on the 10th of Av, and the 11th of Av, the 12th of Av. Came Tu B'Av, they realized, okay, nobody's dying anymore. The Amar Ma'am, we said, Ad Shelo Kalu Mesa Midbar, that while all the people in the desert were still alive and hadn't yet died, and as we're going to learn at the end of the daf, it's the people between 20 and 60. Remember, the other day I was talking to Chinik about 20 and 60. So the people between 20 and 60 all died. Once this ended, Lohayadibur Moshe. Until that ended, God did not speak directly with Moshe, at least not kind of, in a sort of consistent manner. And therefore, it was a big Yom Tif that came Tu B'Av, and God once again was talking to Moshe Rabbeinu regularly. Shnema, as the Apostle says, "Vayu kasher tamu kol anshe milchama lamus," that it was when all the people of military age stopped dying, mikar va'am, from among the nation v'samach lein. Then it says, "Veidaber Hashem Elai lemor," that God spoke to me, saying, "Elai hoyo adibur," that the dibur was directly to me, and that made Tu B'Av a very special day. Ula Amar says, Ula Yom Shabitel Bo Hoshea ben Elah Pardeso Shoshiv Yaravim Al Adrachim Shliyalu Yisrael Regel, that Yaravim put sentries on the way to Jerusalem, on the road to Jerusalem, so that the Yidden couldn't be Ola Regel, to go to Yerushalayim to be Ola Regel. And Hoshea ben Elah removed those sentries on Tu B'Av. Rav Masna says, Rav Masna Yom Shenitnu Haruge Beiser Lekvura. It was the day that the people who were killed by the Romans in Beiser were able to be buried. The Amar of Masna says, Rav Masna, so Hayim Shenitnu Haruge Beiser Lekvura, that on that day that the Haruge Beiser were able to be buried, Tiknu B'Yavne Atov, the Ametiv in Yavne, they established the fourth blessing in the Birkas Hamazon of Hatov ve'ametiv, Hatov shelo esrichu ve'ametiv she nitnu likvura. That Hashem is good, that these bodies, Pasha, didn't decay at all. What was that? And Hametiv, that they were able to be buried. Okay. Rabbi of Rav Yosef Damei Tarvayu. Rabbi Rav Yosef said, Yom Sheposkin Bo Milachrus Eitzim L'Mayroche. It is the day, Tu B'Av is the day that they stop cutting wood for the Mizbeach. Titanis B'Lun and Brayser, Rabbi Eliezer Agad, Omer says, Rabbi Eliezer Agad, Kevin Shegiach Chamisha Oser B'Av, that once Tu B'Av comes along, Toshash Kocha Shel Chama, the sun gets weaker. Lohayu korsin eitzim le mayrocha, and therefore they would no longer cut wood for the mizbeach. Meaning, from Nisan until Tu B'Av, the sun is stark, and therefore the sun is stark. The trees get dried out, and therefore they're good for burning. Once already Tu B'Av comes, the sun gets weaker, and the trees are more moist, and they're wormy, and they can't be used for the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore for the Mizbeach, and therefore that would be a very special day. They would make a party because that mitzvah of donating wood to the Beis Hamikdash is complete for that year. Amr of Menashe says, of Menashe v'karu le yom taver magol. They call it the day that the sickle or the axe stops. And then from Tu B'Av and on, Demosif Yosef, somebody, right? So the days get shorter, the nights get longer, and somebody who is able to, what is it? What was Rashbam say? Laila ala yom. Okay, I don't even necessarily know that it means that the days are shorter, but anyways, from that point on, somebody who adds from the night onto the day in order, the day does start getting shorter, from the night onto the day in order to study the Holy Torah, so then we will add, life onto him. She'eno Mosif, and if you don't add Torah study and learn at night, Yosef, my Yosef, what does Yosef mean? Tani of Yosef, Tikvei Ime, that his mother will bury him, i.e. he won't live very long. Okay, we want to be learning. Chevra, we're learning. We're at Babylon Talmud. If you're listening to this, you're learning. Azoy. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught Shiva Kaplu Eskola Olam Kulo. There were 7 people that spanned the lifetime of the world. Right, the entire span of the history of the world, 7 people overlapped in it. Misushelach Ra Adam, right? There was Adam Arishan, of course, and Misushelach saw Adam Arishan. Shem Ra Misushelach, and Shem saw Misushelach. Yaakov Ra as Shem, Jacob saw Shem. Amram Ra as Yaakov, and Amram saw his grandfather Yaakov. Achi Ashiloni Ra as Amram, and Achi Ashiloni saw Amram. Eliyahu Ra as Achia Hashiloni, and Eliyahu Hanavi saw Achia Hashiloni, Vadain Kayim, and Eliyahu Hanavi is still alive. V'Achia to this day. V'Achia Hashiloni Ra as Amram. How could it be that Achia Hashiloni saw both Eliyahu Hanavi and Amram? That would mean that he was in Egypt and also in Eretz Yisrael. V'Aksiv V'lo Noser Meim Ish Kim Kalev ben Yefuna v'Yoshua ben Nun. But it says that everybody died in the desert, and the only people who were in Egypt and also went into Eretz Yisrael were Joshua and Caleb. Amar Vamnuna says, Vamnuna lo nigzu gzera al shivto shel Levi. Well, Achia Shiloni was a Levite, and that gezerah of dying in the desert was the Leviim had an exemption from that gezerah. The Chsiv, the Apostle says, Bamidbar zayiplu pigreichem v'chol pikudechem l'chol misparchem iben esum shana v'mayla. That in this desert, your corpses and appointments will die for all your numbers from 20 years and up. And so, meaning the gezerah was for people who are counted for the military service from 20 and up. But the Levites, their service in the temple was from 30. And therefore they were excluded from this gezerah, which applied to people who were counted by 20. Lo ayil. And what, only from the Levim they went into Eretz Yisrael? We learned in the Brisa, Yair ben Menashe and Machir ben Menashe noldu b'mei Yaakov, that Yair ben Menashe and Machir ben Menashe were born during Yaakov Avinu's lifetime. V'lo mesu in Egypt, v'lo mesu ad shenichnasu Yisrael la'aretz, and they only died in Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar, the Apostle says, Vayaku meim anshei Ai, that of course by the famed Battle of Ai, it says that the people of Ai smote from the Yidden kishloshim v'shisha ish, like 36 men. B'tani shloshim v'shisha mamish, the Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda means literally they killed 36 Yidden. Amrlo, Rabbi Nechemia says to Rabbi Yehuda, v'chi nemar shloshim v'shisha, v'lo nemar ela kishloshim v'shisha. It doesn't say that the people of Ai killed 36 Yidden, it says like 36 Yidden, the equivalent of 36 Yidden. Elazar Yair ben Menashe, it means that they killed Yair ben Menashe, Sheshakol Kruba Shel Sanhedrin, who was, equivalent to 36 people, the majority of a Sanhedrin. Elo Omer of Acha bar Yaakov, rather says of Acha bar Yaakov, lo nigzu gezerah lo al pachos mi ben esim v'lo al yosim mi ben shishim. The gezerah was only decreed upon people who, at the time of the golden calf Wait, no. Did I say the Cheder Egel of the Meraglim? I believe this was after the Meraglim. That after the Meraglim, so the people who were between the ages of 20 and 60 at that time, they were the ones who died in the desert. Lo apochos mi ben esim, but the decree was not for people who were less than 20. The Chsiv, the Apostle says, mi ben esim shana v'mayla. It's from 20 years and up. V'lo yosim ben shishim, and not those who were above 60. Gomer v'mayla me'arochin, because it says v'mayla here by this gezerah, and also says v'mayla by arochin, when somebody pledges to give a preset value of a person to the Beis HaMikdash. Malahalan Yoser mi ben shishim kipachs mi ben chav. Just like by arachin, right? There's a value between 20 and 60, but less than 20 is and above 60 have their own values. So af kan here oichet yoser mi ben shishim kipachs mi ben esim. Also, less than 20 and above 60 were treated differently, and they were excluded from the Gzera, and therefore Machir ben Menashe and Yori ben Menashe were more than 60, and therefore they were excluded from the Gzera. That was Daf Chof Aleph, Masechta BavaBasra. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.